Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, don't worry, I won't start rapping or dancing anytime soon. Rollie On My Wrist is a 10% pastry stout from City Built Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Right off the bat, just to let you know, this beer is a collab between Ascension Brewing in Novi and City Built Brewing in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm a big fan of both, but I missed out on getting a chance to try the Ascension version. But thankfully, this is a City Built version, and regardless, I'm still excited to give it a go and that it was on the shelves. So it's a pastry stout brewed with a bunch of cinnamon rolls, brown sugar, vanilla, and cream cheese frosting. Let me tell you, my mouth is just watering talking about it. So let's get a look at the label. We'll get it into a glass. But first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Ryan Berry, Eric Latowski, Brian Kramer, Zach, and Cam Freeman, for helping bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.com/draft_therapy, where you can get early access to these videos, exclusive patron-only live streams, and a few other special perks. So let's take a look at the label here. On the front, it has the Ascension logo on the left. It has the City Built logo on the bottom left. It says Rollie On My Wrist. It has a white hand and a brown hand. They have a little cinnamon roll on the top of their wrist like a watch. On the back, it says City Built Brewing, where cultures collide. Inspired and created with our friends at Ascension Brewing, this Imperial Stout was brewed with homemade cinnamon rolls, brown sugar, icing, and cinnamon. Then it has the City Built Brewing Company information, 820 Monroe Avenue Northwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan, brewed in collaboration with Ascension Brewing Company. And this label was designed by Dub Design. My buddy Greg Willett over at Ascension designed this label. So yeah, it's got a lot going for it. There is no canned on date. I paid $4.79 for a single, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and get a glass. We will get it going. I'm going to use this Ascension Brewing glass because I feel like it's just kind of fitting. It should go in an Ascension glass. Let's go ahead and crack it. Put a nose on the can here. Oh, when they said cinnamon roll, they ain't lying. This smells just like a cinnamon roll. Let's go ahead and pour it. Coming really kind of a reddish brown out of the can itself. Going to get a little bit more aggressive to get a bit of a head on there, but it's not really churning up much of anything. Okay, so it's rising up a little bit now out of the bottom. There's a lot of carbonation rising up from the side, maybe half a finger of head at the very best. And we're going to let, you can see from the overhead, it's a little bit off-white. It's a little bit closer to a tan. Let's put a better nose on the glass here. Yeah, cinnamon roll all day. A lot of kind of a bready kind of note, a lot of cinnamon, a lot of a sugary, sweet aroma. Let's go ahead and hold it up to the light. As you can see, it's very dark. Very opaque, not seeing through that. It's got a bit of a hazy kind of brownish red across the bottom of the bulb of this glass. I am ready to dive right in. Cheers. All right. When they say pastry stout, they are not lying. This is very sweet, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. Let's get to the mouthfeel first. The mouthfeel is a little bit heavier than medium. It's getting closer to the thick side. It's not cloying, it's not syrupy, but it's actually very close to that. I'm not picking up on the actual ABV. It doesn't seem like it's super alcohol, high in alcohol, but it has a really nice flavor. So let's talk about the flavors at this point. Very, very cinnamon, very brown sugar sweet. So that brown sugar adds to the sweetness, or that flavor adds to the sweetness. It has a bit of a almost cola kind of characteristic in there. But the brown sugar's there, the cinnamon's there, the vanilla is definitely there. You get, I said, cream cheese frosting. You do taste a bit of a cream cheesy, kind of creamy flavor in there, a bit of a cream cheese kind of, that sourness that cream cheese adds, but not overly sour. It's not like a puckering sour, but it's a complementary sour. And it has this overall kind of bready note to it, which kind of, you know, it really does remind you of a cinnamon roll. I was really kind of, you know, you read things on labels and sometimes you drink as much beer as, you know, somebody watching this video or as I do, and you get skeptical when you see something kind of outlandish on the label, like, oh yeah, it's got all these flavors, and you're like, okay, that's great, that sounds really good. But when you have it in theory, it's really nice, but practically when you have it, it doesn't usually add up. But this definitely adds up. It tastes like a cinnamon roll. It has that vanilla. It has that cinnamon. Definitely has that cinnamon. Has that vanilla, and it has that cream cheesy kind of bitter, not bitterness, but sourness that kind of adds in there, and it has just a bready kind of quality overall. I've not been really so highly versed in pastry stouts. That's not something I've really had a whole lot of experience with, but this is something that I could try, and I could definitely say, yeah, if this is what I would call a pastry stout through and through, because it's very sweet, but it's not overly sweet. With that being said, I don't know in a night if this is something I would want to sit down and drink a 4-pack of. Now, for me personally, my taste, you know, it's a little bit, it's like a one and done. I think it's really good. It's really tasty. It has everything it says it has. It has. It's not, there's no false advertising going on here. I feel like it's got all that, you know, it's got the cinnamon roll, it's got the brown sugar, the cream cheese frosting or the icing, and the cinnamon. Would I want more than one of these? No. I think in one night, I think one might be, you know, it might be like a topper or something that I would, you know, have one of maybe at the end of the night, or just have one and say, I'm just going to have one beer tonight, because the ABV's enough up there to say that, you know, one is enough for the night, but I could also see it being a really good nightcap. And I mean like the beer to cap the night with, not necessarily like something you drink and go to bed with. But that being said, I think this is a really good, you know, not being so really well versed in pastry stouts, I think this one is a really good example of the style, at least in my opinion. I've had a few pastry stouts that just haven't been sweet enough. They've been kind of sweet, but they haven't been so sweet. But I think that Rollie On My Wrist from City Built and Ascension, this pairing is just a really great example of what a pastry stout can be. All right, friends, that has been Rollie On My Wrist from City Built Brewing in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Have you gotten a chance to try either version, the Ascension or the City Built version? Or do you have a favorite pastry stout? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you, and you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.